Yes, hello and welcome to another vlog from Benna Rider. Today we're testing out the Yamaha XSR 125 in the model year 2023, and here it is. Yeah, it has 125cc to 15 horsepower, looks pretty neat. What you see here, this bezel, this light bezel in the front and some aluminum application on the side, they are not standard. You have to pay for this extra. For example, the bezel in the front costs around 240 to 50 euro extra, so that is quite a lot. Anyways, let's get right to the controls and the display. On the left hand side we have the clutch lever, which is not adjustable. It is not too hard and not too soft. You can operate it, there's no problem with that. We have for your index finger, we have the passing light switch, which is always kind of neat and practical. We have the high beam and low beam switch here. We have the horn switch here. We have the left and right turn signal switch in the middle to reset. Unfortunately, I think the quality of the switches and the switches itself, they're fairly small. That's what I noticed compared to other bikes. And it seems to me that they're not of the highest quality. That's what it feels like. And okay, it is a cheaper bike, but still it costs over 5,000 euros, so come on, Yamaha. On the right hand side we have the throttle, the brake lever for the front disc brake, which works fine. We have a combined emergency cutoff switch here, starter switch also if you push it down. So in the middle we have the inverted LC display. Unfortunately, I have to say from the beginning it is not really good to see, because you can only see everything clearly when the sun is in the rear. Actually, when it's coming from the front or side or so, you already have problems seeing it. I mean, the speedometer you can see quite nicely, but all the others in the display is kind of difficult to see already, depending of course how big the reflection and the sun intensity is. We can see in the display, around the display basically we have the RPM counter. Up there we have the gear indicator underneath the speedometer. Underneath that we have the total mileage. And underneath that we have the fuel tank indicator. And that's all you can see in the display. With the left button you can switch around the total to trip A, B. We have a clock, I think it is. It is already difficult to see. We have the actual fuel consumption. We have the average fuel consumption. No, that is the average speed here actually, sorry. We can adjust the brightness of the display in 3 steps. I put it to the highest step, 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, as I said, it might not be enough. You can switch, yeah, that's all. You can switch on the right hand side. There is also a button to reset it or to set it. That's all about the display here. So this is the Yamaha XSR 125, model year 2023. Let's take it out for a little spin. Let's go. The clutch engagement is at the very last part of the clutch travel. That's what I don't like. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't know why they don't use a full travel of the clutch to make it more, you know, adjustable. But no, they don't. So anyways, first thing that you notice, the side stand is a little bit closer to the front. I noticed that compared to other bikes. I mean, not a problem, also not a problem while riding, but when you want to put it down and say, oh, where's the side stand? It's a little bit further to the front. Seat seems to be very comfy, no problems there. Yeah, actually almost comfortable. And what else can I say? The mirrors, I did not have any problems with the mirrors. So usually if I don't complain about anything, I don't have any problems with it. As I said before, the very first time you sit on it, you notice the very kind of cheapish controls, plastics, it seemed, and also they're fairly small. The, you know, the light switch and all that, they seem to be very small. The horn switch is very small, looks very cheapish in a way. That is my first impression. Of course, that is not a good first impression. What I do like is the power. I think it has sufficient 15 horsepower power. There does not seem to be any lack or so. Sometimes I wonder, oh, it has 15 horsepower, but it does not feel like it. I think that's okay. The gear shift for your left foot seems to be a little bit on the soft side. It does not really click. Sometimes you don't really know if you have switched into another gear. There's no real indication. It's very soft. Also another thing which I don't really like. I like a little bit more sporty, a little bit harder, the engagement, so I know, okay, the gear is in and stuff like that. I mean, I know you have a gear indicator, which is nice, but still I would prefer also the feeling, you know, that okay, I have put in another gear and stuff like that. That's what I feel compared to other bikes. So starting at around 90 or so, there's not much coming, of course. Not much power left for a 15 horsepower bike, but that is normal. As I said before, this bezel, this light bezel in the front or whatever you call it, is not included in the price. It is extra and comes at a hefty €241. Also there's some aluminum applications on the side, I think, which also you need to buy extra. Sometimes my dealer puts the stuff on so you can see it. I think that's very nice. You see what the different parts look like on a specific bike. So 6th gear, we come to a pretty steep incline here. Most of the bikes struggle with it. This one is still doing fine in 6th gear. I guess I'm going to shift down pretty soon. Let's see if we get any more power out of it. Not really. It is just too steep for a 125. And we have full power here at around 8,000. As you can see, when the sun is coming from the rear, you can actually see something in the display. There's some red markings as well, which you don't see when the sun is in the front, so you don't see the red markings. But now everything is clearly visible, and that's what it should look like all of the time, actually. Unfortunately, you know, the sun doesn't always come from the rear. It is pretty stable at higher speeds, no problems there. The engine is fairly loud actually, but okay, it's a 125. There's no real wind deflection of this. No, there's no wind deflection at all. What I think personally of this bike, I would only buy this bike if I was crazy about the design. I like it very much. I like it with the front bezel. It looks really cool. Looks kind of 70, 80 style, you know, retro. I like it. Everything else, I would not necessarily pay 2,000 euro more on a regular, compared to a regular Chinese bike or so. I guess you could also get better power, not better power, but same power, and maybe even better equipment on the bike if you pay less and get a cheaper brand. This is, and also get a bit better display maybe. This is a Yamaha, and the price for a 125 is quite steep, I would say. I think this is also already my conclusion, my verdict here. You will find it at the end of the video in Spanish and in English. That's all I can say about the Yamaha XSR 125 2023 model. I think available in 3 or 4 colors. Also some poppy colors like bright yellow, and maybe also a red available. I'm not quite sure. Have a look at the website. That's about it. Thanks very much for watching. This is Ben Ride out. Take care. Bye bye.